feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Brian Giles with Brian Giles MTG, and we're back with more Mystery Booster 2 spoilers. We're finally getting into the lands, and we should be done with this these videos. So, starting off, we have Arcane Lighthouse. It's a land. Tap it to add a colorless, or pay 1 and tap it until end of turn. Creatures your opponent controls lose Hexproof and Shroud, and can't have Hexproof or Shroud. So, hoo-ha. Arena is a land. Pay 3, tap target creature you control, and target creature in an opponent's choice they control. Those creatures fight each other. We have Ash Barrens, land, tap to add a colorless, and basic land cycling of 1. Basilisk Gate. A land gate, tap into the colors or pay 2, and tap it. Target creature gets +X till end of turn, where X is the number of gates you control. Activate only as a sorcery. Bojuka Bog. So it enters the battlefield. It's a land, enters the battlefield tap. When it enters the battlefield, exile target player's graveyard, tap it, add a black mana. Cabal Coffers. Now note, this Cabal Coffers is at the original level of uncommon instead of rare or mythic. So it's a land, pay 2, tap and add black mana for each swamp you control. Classic City of Brass, land, and whenever it becomes tapped, it deals 1 damage to you. Tap to add a mana of any color. Command Tower, land, tap it to add 1 mana of any color to your commander's color identity. Darksteel Citadel, artifact land, it's indestructible. Tap it to add a colorless. Dryad Arbor. Now, I had spoken about this earlier, so Dryad Arbor isn't a spell. It's affected by Summoning Sickness, and it has tap to add a green mana. It's a 1/1 creature with no casting cost. It is considered a land. Okay, Fetching Garden. So it's a land, forest plains, tap it to add a green or white. Enters the battlefield tapped if it was played from your hand. So I'm thinking that this might have been something they were trying to do something different with dual lands. Forsaken Crossroad is a land, enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, you choose a color. Forsaken Crossroad enters the battlefield, scry 1. If you weren't the starting player, you may untap Forsaken Crossroads instead. Tap it to add 1 mana of the chosen color. Ghost Quarter. A land. Tap it to add a colorless, or tap it to sacrifice Ghost Quarter. Destroy target land. It's controlled by search your library for a basic land card. Put on the battlefield, then shuffle. Lazotep Archway. So land and enters the battlefield. Tap it to add a white or a black, and it has Eternalize for white, black, and 3. And you can spend that to exile this card from your graveyard, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie creature and loses all other card types. Eternalize only as a sorcery, and don't forget it still enters tapped. Madlands. So it's a land that enters the battlefield. Tap it to add a black or red. It has Madness zeros. If you discard this card, discard it from exile, you play it for its Madness cost, or put it into your graveyard. You can play a land only during your turn, only if you have an available land play remaining. So even if you have the Madness cost, you still have to have your land. This still has to be your land drop for the turn. Then we have Maestro's Totally Safe Hideout. Land. It has land casualty 2. As this land enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature with power 2 or greater. You create a token that's a copy of this land. Maestro Totally Safe Hideout enters the battlefield tapped. Tap it to add a blue, black, or red. And if you're continuously sacrificing power 2 or greater creatures, you can create a bunch of copies of this land. Mystic Sanctuary. It's a land island. It's the battlefield tapped unless you control 3 or more islands. Other islands, rather. Mystic Sanctuary is the battlefield untapped. You may put a target instant sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. Omen Path to Naya. A land Omen Path that has Vanishing 4. So it has 4 time counters on it, and when the last is removed, you sacrifice it. So tap it to add red, green, or white. We went over Processing Plant. Classic Reflecting Pool, a land. Tap it to add 1 mana of any type a land you control could produce. Good old Reliquary Tower, a land. You have no maximum hand size. Tap it to add a colorless. Rashadan Port, land. Tap it to add a colorless. Or pay 1, tap it to tap target land. Slumbering Waterways. So it enters the battlefield tapped, and tap it to add a green or blue, flying, vigilance, and trample. So if you wanted to make this card into a creature, that's something to be targeted. Then you have snow-covered forest, snow-covered island, snow-covered mountain, snow-covered plain, snow-covered swamp, snow-covered waste. So some more snowlands. I could always use more snowlands. Tarnished Citadel. Tap it, add a colorless, or tap it, add 1 mana of any color. Tarnished Citadel deals 3 damage to you. Team War Elevator. Ascend. If you control 10 or more permanents, you get the city's blessing for the rest of the game. Tap it to add a green, a blue, or a red. If you don't have the city's blessing, you lose 1 life. The Heron Moon. Legendary land. Tap it to add a colorless. Pay 1 and exile the bottom card of target opponent's library. Whenever 1 or more cards in opponent control are put into exile, put a release counter on the Heron Moon. If it has 13 or more release counters on it, sacrifice it. And create a copy of Emrakul, the Promised End. Cast it without paying its mana cost. Thespian Stage, tap it to add a colorless. Pay 2, tap Thespian Stage, it becomes a copy of target land, except it has this ability. Tower of the Magistrate, tap it to add a colorless. Pay 1, target creature gains protection from artifacts till end of turn. Under Construction Skyscraper. A land with level up 1, so pay 1 to level, put a level counter on this, only as a sorcery. Tap it to add a colorless. Levels 1 through 7. Tap it to add a white or black or green or colorless. And level 8 plus. Tap it to add a white, black, green, or colorless, and scry 1. Urza's Saga. Enchantment land, Urza's Saga. Chapter 1, Urza's Saga gains tap it to add a colorless. Chapter 2, Urza's Saga gains pay 2 and tap it, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Chapter 3, search your library for an artifact card with mana cost 0 or 1. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Then we have Value Town. It's an adventure card. So it's a land town. Value Town enters the battlefield tapped. Tap it to add a blue or a red. It's adventure side. Take a trip to a blue, red, and 4 for sorcery adventure. Draw 2 cards. The spell deals 2 damage to each opponent. Wasteland. Classic. Tap it to add a colorless, or tap it and sacrifice it to destroy target non-basic land. And that's all we have for Mystery Booster cards. There's a lot of cards here, a lot of powerful reprints, a lot of nostalgic reprints, test cards that are somewhat playable, and yes, there are a few alchemy cards, which I personally am not pleased with. So, hoo-ha! We will see you on the next video.